Hey, what is going on, people? It is your old pal, CHH. So, guys, I was watching a Michael Felcher interview last night on Dead Pit, and we got the announcement that Trick or Treat's still happening, and it's hopefully going to be coming out in the early 2024. They're kind of wrapping some stuff up. So it got me saying, why don't we do like a best of Synapse films? Because it's a good label. I have a decent collection. Now, I didn't pull out every single thing, but I pulled out a lot of the stuff that I really love and recommend to you guys. I've been kind of doing this with some other labels, so we're going to jump right into it and get started. So let's look at this. This is one of the nicest releases they put out. This is the collector's release for Tenebrae. Now, they put out a standard version of this, which is still nice. It's a 4K release. I did a review on that. But if you're so inclined, if you missed out on this, and if you're a big fan of Dario Argento, this is their thick release of Tenebrae. Tons of special features, great looking 4K, great movie. Huge fan of Tenebrae. It's one of my favorite Italian horror films, and I thought the artwork that they did for this was just sensational. So, like I said, there is a nice standard version release of this. I didn't pull that down because I just figured this one looked nicer, but I reviewed it. Go watch my review if you want to see everything it comes with, which I think is a lot of the same special features. Just doesn't come in this nice case. Great movie, though. Definitely recommend that. Next up, guys, this is such a good release. Now, what Synapse did so well is they gave you the options for certain kinds of things. So, next up, some of the best movies they've put out. This is Demons 1 and 2. Now, this is the new restoration versions of Demons 1 and 2. You could get this in a Blu-ray form, or you can get this in the 4K form, which I have. I have both now. I was gifted the 4K version. But I wanted to show this for the variety that you can get. So, the Demons films have old Blu-ray releases, but if you want to get the better picture quality and things like that, this release is fantastic. I love this release of Demons 1 and 2. They did a bang-up job on the artwork. It's literally, you know, Demons 1 and 2 on one side, and they give you all kinds of cool stuff. You even get a Metropole ticket with this, which is just fantastic. Love this to death. These movies look absolutely sensational, and they're super fun. So the Demons 1 and 2 release from Synapse is a must. Like I said, this is the newest version. They put out old single versions of each movie, which I think I have. I'll show them just in case like you just want to own the films, and having new 4K restorations isn't a huge deal to you. You just want to get them very cheap, because I'm assuming those should still be available and they're very cheap. But I highly recommend getting this version because you get all kinds of cool bells and whistles. Fantastic release. Love Demons 1 and 2. Next up, this does have a standard release, but I think the Steelbook is still available. Massacre at Central High. This is one of those whacked out movies. There's actually nudity on the back, so I can't show that. Massacre at Central High is a great, wild kind of murder slasher high school film. I really like it. There's some familiar faces in here. Somebody from Friday the 13th. Somebody from Friday the 13th is in here. I can't remember who. Is there any nudity on the back of this? No. I could show you that. It's a really nice steelbook. I love this artwork. There's nudity on the disc, so I can't show that either. This thing is full of nudity. But you can get a standard release, I believe, of Massacre at Central High. It should be available. I really like this film, though. They have some wild death scenes in it, and it's a good movie. I reviewed that as well, if you want to look up my review for that, for all the details of, like, the actual film. So, next up, we just talked about this. I did a video on when horror sequels come out on different labels, and here is an example of that. This was Basket Case 2 and 3. Now, people were telling me overseas you could get Basket Case as a trilogy, which I know, but I'm from the good old US of A. But these are great releases. Don't know if these will ever get 4Ks. Don't necessarily think they need them. Great fun movies. I love Basket Case 2 and 3. The sequels are really outlandish, which is, I think, was the right way to go, because you can't recapture that seedy New York feel that the first one had. But these are fun movies. I definitely say get them if you're into like wild, bizarre creature features. Henenlotter is a psychopath, and I love him to death. So these are must-owns for sure. Love those films. Next up, this is funny, so I want to show you this. I got this when it came out. Unearthed and Untold, The Path to Pet Sematary. This is a must-own documentary if you're a fan of Pet Sematary. They got everybody involved in this. Mary Lambert's in here, everything. This is from 2015, the documentary. Sensational. So, there's a movie called The Kindred that the Synapse people have been trying to put out for a long time. It has finally come out, but it came out in like 2022 or 2021. But it's funny. if you look at Unearthed and Untold on the inside, for Synapse Films, they were promoting it 2018 product catalog. So they thought they were going to have it out a lot sooner, which is just really funny. Obviously, what happened was a lot of rights issues. They had to go to court about all that. But nevertheless, this is a sensational documentary, and I don't see enough people talking about this or seeing this one, and I think maybe they just don't know about it. Really good documentary. I can't put over Unearthed and Untold enough. It's one of the best horror documentaries because they get really honest about the making of the film. Mary Lambert is incredible. So, here, let me show you this. Like I said, Demons 1 and 2 had Blu-ray releases that you could get. If these are super cheap, then I would say, okay, I understand wanting to get that. But again, the 4K double pack, 4K restorations that you can get as a Blu-ray pack or a 4K pack look so much better than these. So I highly recommend getting that. But if you can get these super cheap, I guess I kind of get it. I won't hold it against you, so to speak. Speaking of documentaries, this is one of my all-time favorites. This came out in like 2007. Red Shirt Pictures, Michael Felcher, who is the guy I was talking about earlier. This came out in 2007. Yes. This is amazing. Somebody's going to be like, oh my God, I've never heard of that, hopefully. Just Desserts, the making of Creepshow. This is a feature-length making of Creepshow. Everybody was alive and well. 2007. Sensational documentary. Sensational. One of the best documentaries about a horror film ever. I know I just said that about Unearthed and Untold, but Just Desserts is absolutely one of my favorites. Adore it. I watch it repeatedly. Everybody goes over the making of this movie, and it's just sensational. So Just Desserts is one of my favorite. And interestingly enough, there's a ton of special features. There's Horrid Hollows Grounds on here. There is Scream Greats Volume 1. Tom Savini, Master of Horror Effects. Like, they have that on here, the Scream Greats. You guys remember that? A lot of stuff. A lot of stuff. So this is a must-own. Please go out of your way and pick up Just Desserts. I love this. I just want to watch that now. Son of a bitch. Next up, guys, this is a great one. Suspiria does have a 4K from Synapse. I've never been able to abandon or let go of this. This is the nice Blu-ray release. This is the 4K scan from the original camera negative Blu-ray release. There was a Blu-ray release for Suspiria. Then they did a nice version, which was this version. Then they subsequently did a 4K version, which it's interesting. I guess for any movie, if I was going to get 4K, it would be Suspiria, where I should, because of how great it was shot. I mean, it's one of the best shot horror films, I think, ever. I mean, really. It used those colors and stuff in the film as an actual, almost like a character. It was done so well. A lot of stuff is homage to Suspiria, but they don't get it right. In Suspiria, it was done so well. But anyway, this is a sensational release. This release, I'll probably grab the 4K. Hopefully they do like a super nice deluxe 4K release one day. But this is an incredible release. Ton of special features. Gorgeous. Gorgeous. I love the artwork on this release. I thought they did a great job. I could reverse it, I'm sure, and put, the original. Yeah, I could put the original artwork on there, but man, one of the best movies ever. I'll never forget my wife, of all people, when we first started dating. She was like, I want you to watch my favorite horror movie, Suspiria. I hated it. I was like, it's not even the people talking. How silly I was, I didn't realize, like, it's so funny because after that I saw Alice Cooper do like a top 5 horror movies, and he said Suspiria was one. I was like, oh, I gotta watch that again. My wife was so mad at me. But subsequently, I have become the biggest fan of this movie. You have to acclimate yourself into Italian horror, and, it's a shame when you hear people say, what I said was like, dude, it's dubbed. I was like, yeah, we'll get over it, Allow yourself to fall into these worlds, and then you'll realize, holy crap, there are some talented people that live in this planet that don't just live in America. So, Suspiria, masterpiece. That's a great release. If you can get that, I mean, this is a really great release. Like I said, the 4K probably looks even better with the HDR, but this is one of the newest ones I have. This is one of the best, worst movies ever, Satan's Little Helper. This is like an early 2000s... Who has directed it? Jeff Lieberman. Early 2000s kind of horror film about this little kid who befriends the guy that's basically the devil. And they go around town killing people. Super funny. When this got announced, I was over the moon about Satan's Little Helper. I love this movie. I can't recommend it enough for cheesy, great, fun, this is a summertime Halloween movie. Like, it feels so good to watch. Maybe it'll feel good to watch during Christmas time. I don't know, but it's a staple. I watch it once a year. Hysterical movie. Love it to death. Next up, I want this to get a 4K, but I don't know if these movies will. I think, you know, as time has gone on, I heard, like, I'll save it, but there's another title in this library that they want to do a 4K, but they really can't again. Frank Henenlotter's Frankenhooker. In my opinion, this is the best Frank Henenlotter film. Frankenhooker is insanely rewatchable. It's exactly what you think it's about. Guy's wife, I think she dies or something, and then so he puts her on a hooker's body, and this movie's so funny. I think there's a quote from Bill Murray. Oh yeah, if you see only one movie this year, it should be Frankenhooker. I don't even think he saw the movie. I think he just got asked about it, and so he said that. I forgot the origins of the quote, but 1990, perfect. This movie is hysterical. If you haven't watched a Frank Henenlotter film before, he's Basket Case, he's Frankenhooker, he's Brain Damage. I dare say this is the one you should start with. I think you'll fall in love with it. Great movie. Absolutely great movie. Oh, man. Love this one. That's Popcorn, man. This is one of those early 90s slasher films. It's kind of like pre-Scream. It's like a Scream type movie before Scream. If memory serves, like, this movie was like petitioned to get upscaled because it had such a big fan base that when it finally happened, I think this movie sold like hotcakes. And they did a steelbook for it too, which I think is out of print now. I could have gotten it when it came out, but it was like 40-something bucks at the time. Which, it's sad that that's kind of like the norm now for some of these Blu-rays, but this release is just fine. Popcorn, guys, is incredibly rewatchable. It's a slasher classic in my opinion. It's a really fun movie because it takes place in a movie theater. And I think you'll really love it. Like I said, it's kind of like a Scream type movie, so I don't really want to talk about the plot too much because it's kind of like a mystery kind of thing. But totally incredibly awesome movie. There's great special features too. I think they filmed it in Jamaica. So, again, here's something I'd like to see them upgrade again, but I don't know if they can. That's Maniac Cop, the first one. This was under the Synapse umbrella. Obviously, we saw that 2 and 3 are under Blue Underground, but it's kind of interesting, like, why, you know? They were all done by the same people. Written by Larry Cohen. Directed by Bill Lustig. So, I don't know. I love the first Maniac Cop. I don't think it's better than 2, but if you tell me it's as good as it, I'd agree. I mean, look at the names at the top. Bruce Campbell and Tom Atkins. This is Tom Atkins' movie, though, for sure. Even though he doesn't survive. Spoiler alert, but I think everybody's seen Maniac Cop by now. Such a good movie. Oh, man, it's so good. His death scene is insane, too. Love this, though. This has been out for a long time. This came out in, like, 2012 or 11, this Blu-ray. So it's been out for years, still in print. Maniac Cop, love it. I don't foresee it getting a 4K anytime soon. So no video I do can be done without talking about Charlie Band. He made this movie, or he had people make this movie. He was involved in it, produced by it, of course. But I'm just kidding. I was looking for the word. Intruder. This is a great slasher film about like a grocery store killer. Does this have reversible art? No, it doesn't. I saw you can get a weird kind of like Intruder DVD from Full Moon 2. I guess they just have the rights for a DVD version, but the Blu-ray's great. This has a great cast. Ted Raimi's in here, I think. Sam Raimi and Ted Raimi are in here. Yeah. Super fun late 80s slasher film. This is a must-own. Again, this has been out from Synapse for a very, very long time. Don't know if it's ever going to get any sort of 4K. Hard to say. Probably not. But love this movie to death. Again, a movie when I look at the Blu-ray case where I'm like, oh, I want to watch that. Next up, guys, this is a great slasher film. Moody, dark, really great visual stuff. I'm talking about curtains. Man, I get... Maybe my mind's just dirty, but like every time I look at that cover. Anyway, curtains is great. There is a scene where the killer puts on this mask in the snow. The visual of that is amazing. Oh, and there's a scene with the toilet that once you see it, you'll never forget. One of my favorite kind of like one-off slasher films that I bought it without seeing the film, obviously. And when I got it, I was like, man, this was such a great blind buy. Love Curtains. This I would love a 4K of, but again, I don't know. Just don't know if it's going to happen. 1983, so it's right at the literal, like, last year of the heyday of the slasher film. I think 84 is where stuff started to taper off a little bit. I completely forgot I dropped my Street Trash Blu-ray when I was editing this. I noticed, where's Street Trash? Guys, this movie right here, when I say this needs to be top of your priority to own, if you haven't seen Street Trash, it is amazing. It's splatterpunk. It's kind of like body horror. It's black horror comedy. It's colorful. The movie is as colorful as this cover art is. Incredible film. I mean, it is a staple. I even have a replica of the Viper bottle that causes people to throw up all those crazy color. Great movie. Pick this up. Here we go, guys. We're talking about Prom Night from Synapse Films. Now, this is what I wanted to talk about. You know, some of these titles, I'm saying I don't know if it's going to get a 4K because it looks like there's a number of titles, like Prom Night, for instance, where the owner was owned by somebody. I think I might have even been the director. I can't remember what Felcher said in that video, but he did say that something happened. The owner died, and now it's in this whole subsequent situation where the rights are kind of not owned by one person anymore, but like a group of people, I guess presumably like a family or something. And because of that, the hassle of trying to get the rights again to remaster it could be a pain in the ass. So it doesn't look like you're going to get a 4K of Prom anytime soon. But this is a good Blu-ray release. I like Prom Night. It's growing on me more and more. I love the sequel, Mary Lou, which hopefully we'll get some sort of nice release from that, you know, down the road for sure. But good release. I think there's some other releases overseas you can get, like 101 Films did a nice one. But for me, this is fine. Prom Night. I think this has reversible art too. Yeah, it does. It's got like some, you know, different art, but I didn't really like that too much. I prefer that. So Prom Night. There's Jamie Lee on the back. But yeah, but Prom Night. This is a good release. Probably gonna stick with that for a while. Finally, we got the title that was predicated to be like the release from this label. What year did this come out? The movie came out in '87, but I don't remember what year this Blu-ray actually came out. It was like 2021 or something. Anyway, I'm talking about the Kindred. This is the movie. There is a standard Blu-ray release of this film, which people would kind of get annoyed with Synapse, to be honest with you. I think I even had a situation where like there was a title I wanted that was only had a steelbook release, and I had asked years and years and years ago if there was going to be a regular release, and they said, I don't think so. It was basically a negative kind of, not negative towards me, but just like don't think so. And then when they finally announced, it was Murders in the Rue Morgue. And then when they announced it, I was like, what the hell? You guys told me you weren't going to do it. Well, we say we have no plans at the time. It kind of, and it's not me. There was a lot of people that were saying like, come on, guys. So then sure enough, they did the Kindred, which is just a really nice steelbook. And I love that it's the actual original art. I think this was called Anthony overseas too. But then they eventually did a standard release for this not too long after that. And then they announced another movie they were doing, and they announced they were going to do a standard release from the start. So I get sometimes it's like, hey, if this sells well, we'll probably do a standard release. If they would say that, that'd be one thing. And then it would make people be like, well, if it doesn't sell well, they're not going to do a standard release, so maybe I should just buy the nice release. I think it would work in their favor if they actually approached it that way. Like, hey, we'll do a standard release if the steelbook sells well. Because then it'd be like, crap, what if it doesn't sell well? Maybe I should go ahead and buy this one, because that could be it. But was this movie worth the wait? I think it was. The Kindred is a great creature feature, and it's a good movie. I really liked it. This is one of those great creature features that you need to see and own if you're a fan of 80s horror. So it's available. There's this release. It may still be available, and there's a standard release. Just get it. This is one of the highest priorities from the label. The Kindred. Loved this movie so much. And this was a 4K scan, by the way, so it looked amazing. That went through rights hell for years. Years and years and years. This is one of the newer titles they put out, guys. Creature from Blacklight, which I really enjoyed. And I think they're kind of doing black cases now, which I don't really love. I'm old school. I kind of like blue cases. But it seems like a lot of people prefer black cases and things like that. So I'm outnumbered. But I did love this 70s creature feature, 76. Highly recommend this one. Loved it so much. I love these kinds of movies These creepy creature features. They're my style. And then they actually have some DVDs. We've got these are only on DVD still. The Stepfather 2, Rock and Roll Nightmare, which is fun, and then Black Roses, which is I think the best soundtrack from an 80s horror over Trick or Treat, which gets me in trouble. But go listen to Black Roses and it'll kick your ass. It's so good. You've got Carmine Appice, one of my favorite drummers, doing stuff on here. This is a really great movie. There's a German Blu-ray, but you know, I don't remember if it's region free or not. I can't tell you. But this DVD is good. The soundtrack is amazing. Hopefully they'll upgrade, preferably Black Roses and Stepfather 2, which I love Stepfather 2. But they still have DVDs available that are, this is the only format that they're on. So if you're going to get any of the DVDs, I definitely recommend Black Roses. The soundtrack on that is amazing, and it's a fun, like, horror rock and roll creature feature. So, guys, that's what I consider to be the best of Synapse films. If you're a fan of the label, let me know. Tell me which ones you might be interested in. If you have any questions on anything I didn't go into detail enough about, drop it below. I'd be more than happy to answer it. This is your old pal CHH, guys. Take care. And if I don't see you before Christmas, have a Merry Christmas, but you'll probably see me. Regardless, love you guys. See y'all next time. Huge, giant thank you to all of my Patreon supporters. Without you guys, this would not be possible. To get behind-the-scenes photos, videos, music, private live streams, and much more, you can subscribe to my Patreon for as little as $1 a month. Thank you to my patrons.